Welcome, my name is Jamie with Train to Be Clutch, and today we're going to be talking about something that underpins everything for the mental side of your game and your life. We're going to be talking about a mindset, okay? And this all comes out of research done by Dr. Carol Dweck out of Stanford. And she found that people largely fall into one of two mindsets, either a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And the mindset that you adopt largely determines what kind of life you are going to live. All right, let's jump into it. Let's talk about the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset believes that your key characteristics, your personality, your skills, your abilities, your smarts are all set at birth, okay? And there's very little wiggle room for growth throughout the rest of your life. Now, if you start to believe that, one of two things happens. Either you start to settle and live up to who you are, or you try extremely hard day in and day out to try and prove that you don't fit in and prove that you are better than others, okay? Now, I know from experience and I know from talking to athletes all over the place that what this does is it creates a fear of making mistakes and failures, okay? Why would that happen? The reason is because failures and mistakes are kind of like validation. They prove that you don't fit into a certain level, okay? They prove that you're not talented. They prove that you're not a natural. They prove that you're not smart. And they prove that you're not likely to succeed. And what happened for me was I started to create this framework, okay? And it had 3 tiers. And at the very top was LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Lionel Messi, the guys who were just born with it, okay? And then the second level were what I would call the pros. Okay, these are the guys and girls that were really good in high school, played at great Division I colleges, played in the professional levels. Okay, they were born with a little something extra than the average Joe. And then there was the third category, and these are what I would call the good players. Okay, known in your local community, played good high school ball, and probably played at good colleges. Okay, but never really broke into the professional level. And for me, I believe that if I worked extremely hard, that I would have a slim chance to actually break into that professional level. But there was very, very, very little hope that I could ever get into that top tier, because I thought if you were going to fit into that top tier, you had to be born with it. Okay? Now, why is that so bad? If you start to fear failures and mistakes, what you do is you miss out on the very things that are going to make you a better person and a better player. We know that strength is built through resistance, but if you're in the fixed mindset, a lot of times you'll avoid challenges. You'll take on a weaker opponent in 1v1 drills during training. Or when obstacles are faced your way, when you've been sitting on the bench for 2 weeks, you'll just kind of accept it and say, this is my plot for the rest of the season. Or during training, when you're putting out maximum effort, you feel kind of stupid. Like you're showing everybody that you don't fit in, because for the natural players, it shouldn't be that hard. Or when you start to get criticism from a coach, he could tell you 10 things that you've done well, and he'll say, you have one area for growth. You need to work on your 1v1 defending. And all you hear is that you're a crap defender, you're a crap player, and your future as an athlete is very bleak, okay? But if you're in that camp, you're not going to stretch after things that are going to stretch you and make you better. But some people actually do take those on. Okay? Some people actually say, I do take on those obstacles, I do take on those challenges, I take on that criticism, and it drives me to be better. You can do that and still have a fixed mindset. You can go out there and try and prove yourself again and again and again. But what happens is, because you're trying to prove yourself, you start to understand, or you start to believe, that your worth is determined by your performance. Okay? The fixed mindset makes you believe that your worth is determined by how you play. All right? And that's not a great place to be. We've all been there. We know what it's like after a great game or a great training session. You can just walk around the dressing room with your chest held out, okay, bopping to music, kind of looking out for best interests of other people. You're real chatty. When you go to bed at night, you're feeling good about yourself. But flip it on its head. When you have a bad game or a bad training session, if you let those things define you, what happens is you're walking around with your head down. You're kind of moping throughout the day. You're not looking out for others. And worst of all, when you get to your own room and to your own bed, you start to go over everything that happened that was bad, and you start to tell yourself that if that happened, I must fit into a certain category, and my future isn't looking great. The fixed mindset makes you believe that your worth is determined by what you do. But let's talk about the growth mindset. All right, the growth mindset is the total opposite. The growth mindset believes that you can get better at absolutely anything. You can change who you are, your personality, your characteristics, your speed, your stamina, your smarts, your skills, anything you want. The growth mindset believes that failures and mistakes do not define me, but they help refine me. Okay? But you got to embrace those mistakes. All right? You got to start to choose to believe the motto of the growth mindset. Anything that happens to me today is in my best interest. Anything that happens to me today can make me a better person and a better player if I choose to let it. And when you take on that growth mindset, when you adopt that, everything starts to change. When you go into hard workouts or trainings, you're not thinking about, man, I hope I make it through. I hope I don't just die on the floor. No, you're saying to yourself that if I put out maximum effort, at very least, I'm going to be better than I was this morning. Okay? When you're sitting on the bench for 2 games, instead of saying, woe is me, this is who I am, you start to say, how can I get better? What can I learn from watching? Who can I help? Instead of worrying about looking foolish because you're putting out maximum effort, you start to believe that maximum effort is the hallmark of the growth mindset. Because you know that Kevin Durant, LeBron James, all the best of the best are sometimes invisible pain when they do their workouts. Effort is essential. And when you hear criticism, when you adopt that growth mindset, instead of letting it eat you up inside, what you do is you start to comb through it and find the constructive bits that are going to help you grow. All right? And the best part about the growth mindset is that you start to know and believe and live in a way, all right, where your worth is not determined by what you do. Your worth is determined by who you are. Let me say that again. Your worth is not determined by what you do on the court or on the field. Your worth is determined by who you are. And I know this. No matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, you are great and you can grow. But you have to adopt that growth mindset. If you want to know about how to adopt that growth mindset in your particular context, I want you to reach out to me or Joshua on Twitter or email us, okay? Because we want to talk with you and we want to help you walk through that process, okay? For any other kind of mental training tools that we have, please come visit us at traintobeclutch.com and continue to believe that you can get better at absolutely anything